care of that real quickly. Not exactly sure what that would be, but, you know, I'll just go ahead and close everything out. There we go. All right. Let's try this one more time here. I think we're finally good to go. Everything getting kicked off. We're just all excited for it, forgetting about the simple stuff. But, okay, so the locking phase, of course. Now, again, we're dealing with QsQ here. QsQ, a team that, well, to say the least, they didn't have the greatest performance at DreamHack.
Right.
You know, the LAN performance, it just wasn't to be. Apparently, they finished 2-6 there in Group B. It was at the DreamHack event. Very disappointing results. And but again, they finished 3rd place in the qualifiers. On the other hand, so. It's kind of a mix. Which team are we going to see now here in the first round against a very, very solid Fortune Bakery team?
Well, and obviously, you know, in HoN Tour, looking towards the very, very end of this, obviously you're getting points to qualify for that final, the grand final tournament. And so this is basically going to be all played online until you get to that grand final tournament, if you do. So, you know, I do think that LAN had a big issue with QsQ. I think it was just, you know, the inexperience of being on the LAN and working together closely on a different setup. I think it just got the best of them. But I think they'll come back and they'll be a little bit more comfortable as they're playing on their, you know, probably their personal setups and whatnot. But anyway, the locks have all finished. We have, of course, Voodoo Jester starting out for QsQ. No surprise there. Luna Glacius, a very support-heavy lock pool. Ophelia was then locked, actually the 4th lock, interesting enough. Monarch then to follow, and then Magnus is the final lock. And it actually came out from Cookies.
Yeah, how about those blind bands, though? Monkey King Warbeast taken care of by QsQ, and then the Playground or Parasite. So, you know, the Monkey King, it's very few teams will deserve a Monkey King ban against them. But, of course, over here on Fortune Bakery, this is a team that, you know, definitely started to get some attention as the qualifiers moved on. You know, somewhat of a former Clan Milk team. Obviously, you look at their player names, and definitely some of them should stand out to you, especially Cookies there,
right,
who, of course, is the captain. And speaking of Monkey King, you know, it doesn't really get much better than Cookies when it comes to Monkey King. So, the blind ban on him, of course, Nova respects that for very good reason. But, yeah, the lock pool, as you mentioned, very support-heavy, including that Monarch lock especially. So Monarch not a hero at all we see on the competitive scene nowadays. Curious to see maybe if QsQ has a strategy in mind. But the banning phase, in fact, finishing right there. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Wild Soul, Draconis, Bubbles, Pebbles, Nymphora, and Pharaoh. So looking at the banning phase, the regular banning phase that is, nothing too crazy to go off of right there. But first pick, we'll see what Nova decides to go with here.
Well, I like how Cookies has banned out now both Pharaoh and Plague Rider. They do pick up Silhouette as their first pick, and that's probably going to be played by Nox. There was also Dark Leading. That usually seems to be their carry of choice, but I think Silhouette's just a bit stronger because, like I say all the time, she has the potential to carry late game, as well as being one of the most strong laning heroes in the game. So Silhouette's very strong. But yeah, banning out those suicides is pretty smart from Cookies, especially that Pharaoh. We never really see him banned, but QsQ is a comfort hero for QsQ.
Yeah.
And one interesting thing too is that Monarch, you know, we never see her played anymore, or never see her played. But with Cube of the Forest being so popular, it might actually be viable just simply because that ultimate gets you out of Cube of the Forest ultimate quickly. So we'll have to see if they use that. Fade actually, there's so many heroes sometimes, and so many I don't want to say overpowered, but just popular heroes that you forget them sometimes.
But you expect them to be banned.
Yeah, so I expected Fade to be banned, but actually Fade went unbanned. And QsQ opted out, of course, from that Fade and picking it still at first. But yeah, Fade, Torture, pretty strong picks coming out from Fortune Bakery.
Yeah, no doubt. And actually, QsQ responding fairly quickly right there. Miraxis, Keeper of the Forest, actually coming out. So strong finish for them. And how about that, though? Fortune Bakery going to go with the Flint Beastwood here as their 3rd and final regular pick. And this is something you have brought up a little bit lately. You know, at least in the qualifiers, you mentioned it now and then. The Flint Beastwood tri-lane, maybe. Making a comeback here, or potential. So we'll see. We'll see if that's a possibility here, going to be coming out from Fortune Bakery. But nonetheless, they are going to be running Flint Beastwood, of course, whether it's a tri-lane setup or something a little bit different. But hey, a carry we don't get to see too often here.
You have to go Mag. So in my opinion, if that's what they're going to try for, Flint Beastwood, if they go something like Magaluna, they could even go Magophilia, but Magaluna would be even better. Because the fact that you have, they have a jungler in Key of the Forest. It would be pretty cool if they picked, I mean, most teams would just snap pick Ophelia right here, even with Glacius in the pool. Yeah, Ophelia. So they're going to have that Suicide Keeper Ophelia right there. I'm expecting Mag Aluna. Like, it should be snap picked. If I know Cookies, I know what he's probably going to do. And yeah, it's probably going to be Mag Aluna, and then Glacius would be the final pickup there for QsQ. Well, actually, they love Voodoo, so maybe it will be Voodoo. But,
yeah.
And actually, any of those heroes will really do fine. Probably Glacius would be the best. Yeah, the Glacius, because then they go Glacius, Miraxis mid, Cube of the Forest top, Solo Silhouette bottom. And the great thing about this tri-lane is it seems silly. I mean, we don't see it all that often. Actually, we don't really see it at all. But Flint Beastwood, Magnus, and Luna. Magnus and Luna have the potential to roam around just by themselves. So you give Flint Beastwood an early lead or whatever lane he's in, and then you start roaming around, and it's very successful. I mean, those heroes have lots of burst and get you potential from far away with a Magnus stun. It is only low range at level 1, but as you get those levels up, it becomes really deadly.
Yeah, and that's what can help make, if you're going to run a tri-lane, having those two support heroes with the carry, in this case, of course, the Magnus and Luna, as you keep going back to, the fact that they do have aggressive roam potential. So, if it happens to be a matchup where they're just not even necessary to be there, which could very likely happen, and I'm sure QsQ maybe even planning for that, Luna and Magnus can start roaming from the beginning and causing issues, whether it's in the jungle for Keep of the Forest, whether it's, ganking mid, something, though, and again, they're both very powerful at definitely being able to accomplish that. So here we are. It looks like things are going to be getting started here. In fact, he's seeing chat right there. Apparently one of the players went AFK, and they're going to ask for a remake here. The unfortunate thing with that being the HoN Tour event,
you got to go through
the whole lockpicking phase again. So let's just hope it's not the it doesn't take the longest. Of course, they should know what exactly. Who exactly they have to lock and whatnot. So it looks like we are going to have a remake here, as one of the players apparently went AFK at the end of the picking stage. Go figure. No, but so yeah, looking at the lineup, so overall, I mean, blanking exactly how QsQ finished, but
with their heroes,
yeah, who did they finished with Glacius? That's who it was.
Yeah, Glacius, so, Moraxis, Silhouette, Keeper, Ophelia.
Yeah. So. We'll see how, of course, the teams fare. But actually, while we are in a break here, let's go ahead and take a look at the rosters as we meant to previously. So, of course, QsQ over here on the Legion side. Of course, you're dealing with Nova, Nox, Malay, Jonas and Fan, and Style. That's QsQ's lineup. They were at DreamHack. Again, had a disappointing result, but they're the number 3 seed here in the Diamond Division for the first cycle. How about Fortune Bakery?
Cookies, King Plato, Meisty, Gigi Slaya, or Gigi Sucka in this case, and then Mookies.
Yeah.
Of course, the American superstars representing bakeries worldwide.
Yeah. Bakeries worldwide. It is a clever, they go from Clan Milka to an extent to Fortune Bakery.
I like the name.
Something about, they just like the cookies, like the bacon, I guess, something like that. So I'm actually trying to get back into the game here. I don't even know if they've remade it yet. But anyway, so obviously you're going to have to go through the lockpicking stage again, though. They'll pick the same heroes, or at least that's the idea, and then we'll be able to get things started. But hey, man, I mean, again, this is our first day here. This is the cycle number 1 officially starting here today. Now I know it's not just Diamond starting. Obviously, we're going to focus a lot of our coverage here on HoNcast is going to be around the Diamond Division for obvious reasons. You got 16 of the best teams in the world going at it. But the Gold Division, the Silver Division, and even the Bronze Division, of course, all started today as well. The Bronze Division, and it's split up into 2 regions, of course, the European and the U.S. The European region actually started even earlier today. So they already had things kicked off, and they're moving along nicely. And it seems like things are off to a great start here. Things are going fairly smooth for the most part, at least when I talk with Milkfed about. So, things are looking really good here for our first cycle, Trev.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, and there really is a lot of money, guys. Like, this is 8-day cycles, and this happens all, every other week or so, probably less. And there's a lot of money to be had for both casual players and your top teams or your top tier sponsored teams. Yeah. So I mean, what more incentive is there to play?
Well, I was actually taking another look at that because again, obviously, with so much information out there, it's hard even for myself to remember exactly everything. But the prize breakdown, I'm going to pull it up right here on my screen real quickly. But yeah, so here we go with the prizes for the Diamond Division. I mean, it's $16,700 every single 8 days, basically. So every single tournament cycle, they're getting a chance to earn $16,700 proportion of the prize pool. As you can see, as the breakdown goes. Of course, if you go to HoNtour.com, you can find the information for yourself. But you look right here, and obviously another big part of it is the points, of course. And as we keep going back to, the points will add up all the way to the end of the season after the 9 cycles are finished. And then the top 3 teams will go to the grand finals, 4 through 11. They'll compete for that final spot to join the top 3. But every single cycle, you're going to get a chance to make this much money. Hell, if you make Diamond in the first place, you're at least getting $300 no matter where you finish.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're still getting something just for even making Diamond, even if you lose out. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. And, of course, there's the other divisions and so much money. So much money's going around. So
I mean, bronze first place, $600.
Yeah.
Hey.
Not
pretty
bad.
good.
Not bad.
I mean, these are your, like you say, the Joe Schmoes are the people
Yeah.
that have, like, their full-time jobs. They don't really have that much time, but they come in, play a little bit of HoN, make some money. It's kind of, and it's fun.
Yeah, it's a little bit of incentive, but in the end, you gotta get that experience really, and I think that's a cool thing for those lower divisions, especially the bronze and even the silver. Getting that experience, feeling that you are a true competitor because you are with HoN Tour. So. All right, though, it looks like game number 1, they are going to be loading back in here. So, once again, well, actually, we're just waiting on one person. His computer's a little bit slower than the others. It happens. But once he's loaded in, we'll jump into the game and, again, start with the lockpick phase once again. But the other diamond matches going on, I mean, of course, there was the original Domain of Pain versus TT Esports, which, like we said, we decided not to cover it in the end because it seemed like one of the teams wasn't going to have 5 players, which I don't even know if that is even still the case. But so we jumped into this match instead, but if you go to the brackets, again, on HoNtour.com, you can see every single matchup that's taking place, and every single matchup really is going to be a great one. And it is a doubleheader today, ladies and gentlemen, so remember that as well. After this series, we'll be moving to the round of 8 here in the Diamond Division, and another great matchup, I'm sure. But it looks like game number 1 has finally commenced, or getting started once again, so let's go ahead and jump into game number 1.
Well, hopefully they all run the same bands and or same locks, bands, and all that jazz. And see, this is what worries me every once in a while is when you don't. It's especially worrisome when you get to the lock pool because if you lock more, more than the heroes that you can get out of that lock pool phase,
got to be scary. Got to be careful. So, okay, so the locking. See.
Okay.
Why would you lock
Okay,
in?
good.
So you picked the Mega PKB. Okay. So, anyways, it seems like we should still be fine, though, here. So, it was just scary as a spectator because, the last thing we want to do is once again remake and have to go through all this again. It's so true. It really is like playing landmines. So now going to the banning phase here, and just hope that they don't ban any heroes that were actually picked. They did not.
The only crappy thing about this is because all these games, and it is actually HoN Tour.
Yeah.
Is that it's not going to record stats correctly for picking and bans and stuff like that.
that is true. Obviously, with it being Hunter at the same, I mean, it is a large scale. There's going to be so many matches, so these are kind of outliers to an extent. But you are right. I mean, that is a good point to bring up. Yeah, that is unfortunate, but in the end, it should still, be for the most part accurate. And actually, I got some great information on that. I mean, again, this is the idea. I don't know. We're going to see after today, I'm sure. But ideally, it's actually the stats on the HoNtour.com website are going to be updated every single day, pretty much after every single day matches. So we're going to have stats by tomorrow from today's matches as far as the highest goal per minute, highest kill to death, things like that. So that's pretty cool to see. And of course, the stats tab at the top. Okay, it looks like both teams, they did choose the correct lineups. And we are going to be good to go here. So thank God for that.
Yay. So they just swapped it around. Mookie's actually playing the Fade instead of the Magnus now.
Yeah.
And yet, Cookie's in that Flint, which is probably going to be a Flint tri-lane. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Pretty standard stuff coming up from QsQ. Glacius Meraxis I'm expecting to be mid.
Yeah.
And actually, look at that. Well, maybe they might go bottom because Style is playing Silhouette, and usually Style goes mid. But normally you see it, with this kind of lineup, you have a solo short Silhouette. And, we'll have to wait and see what they do. But they do have an Ophelia that might go some kind of aggressive tri-lane.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. This is going to be kind of interesting.
They're sending Silhouette up here right now. Again, especially QsQ. This is a team really known to race to either get that War to Sight, or usually get the War to Sight down, and this isn't necessarily the fastest race they've ever had, but they are running up here and looking to eventually place. But look at what Fortune Baker's doing at the same time. I mean, they got all 5 heading towards the bottom lane, and Magnus in the front lines. He has those 2 War to Sights. He's eventually going to place them, of course, and looks like both teams are going to be able to get off their War to Sights here, but it very likely is going to be an aggressive tri-lane being ran here. Coming out, and that makes you wonder a little bit if Q Squad maybe expected the tri-lane to be top, and so they sent their maybe aggressive play top as a result of that, or whether they wanted to dodge it. I mean, do you think so? If you're Q Squad, are you trying to dodge that tri-lane here?
I think so. Yeah, I think you are trying to dodge it because it's a very effective tri-lane. Pretty much anything that goes against it's going to die.
Yeah.
And I think they smartly know that. If there's 2 heroes, it's even worse for them. 1 hero is probably optimal, and it looks like they are probably going to send that. It's kind of like a pseudo-suicide Keep of the Forest in the bottom lane. That might actually be the smartest thing for them. And I got to say that's a pretty good idea because I don't really, even though this tri-lane is actually quite strong and does have a lot of burst potential, it is a keep of the forest. And I don't know if they're going to have enough damage to really take him down. I mean, he's sitting at 625 health at level 1, so.
Well, the really cool thing about being the keeper of the forest too, again, we never see a keeper in the short lane, but because of the circumstances, this is just how it is, and it seems like may work out. But also the fact that it is keeper, and he can easily go to the jungle, you would think, and just kind of assist his farm in there from the beginning. Now, granted, I'm sure Luna and Magnus will be roaming around. In fact, you see the ward of scythe that they place behind the tower, and they are going to see Keeper the Forest run by, so they very quickly realize that they're not going to be dealing with that pseudo tri-lane bottom, and instead, but this is what you talked about, they're going to start roaming mid and maybe set up a gank here for a bloodlust kill in mid. They did run past this ward of scythe, but I don't know if they were spotted. Maybe they were. Nox is playing fairly passive now. At the very least, he knows they're missing. So he's playing very passive, and that's for good reason. Because as you can see, Magnus and Luna, they are ready to gank, and no doubt they would pick up a bloodlust kill right here if Meraxes was a little bit more overextended. So, but the roam has commenced here, Trout.
The good roaming to start. I mean, it's going to hurt Nox quite a bit in the mid lane, at least early on. What they should really do is maybe set up for a kill. They probably can't kill him, but at least get some damage done and then go top. Yeah, it looks like they're already going to move top. And it's going to be basically a tri-lane up there against that tri-lane. And that's a really smart thing. I mean, you already see actually some movement coming out from Nova playing Glacius. Actually, they might spot out this Ophelia, but she has boots, so she is very fast.
Oh, yeah.
But this is the scary thing is when you try to switch it up, like in Q squads, in the regard for Q squad, is this Silhouette's going to be basically suicide against 3. And depending on how well Fortune Bakery decides to roam this, it looks like they are just going to go dual lane mid, dual lane top with Magnus and Torture, and that's fine. That's great. This is fantastic what Fortune Baker is doing. Good response from them. Now, the only thing is that you do have Jonas Fan playing this keeper who has a hatchet, and is going to get a lot of farm down here against Cookies playing this Flint Beastwood.
Yeah, he's, in fact, you already see right there, he gets into the last hit, so, yeah, you would think it's safe to say that Jonas Fan not going to have going to have a fairly good time. In fact, already is 9-5 against a 5-1 Flint Beastwood here right off the bat, so. Yeah, Keeper of the Forest looking very good in that sense. In fact, he's going to spot some trees right here. Maybe try to block Flint Beastwood. In comes Glacius. There's a freeze coming out. Is this going to be enough of a block for the bloodless kill on a Cookies? Glacius needs to be careful himself, actually, in the meantime. There's another auto attack. One more, maybe. No, it's not going to be enough. Flint Beastwood will survive, but the trees are chasing. But no, Glacius will fall. The creeps assisting with the tower and everything else, and eventually bloodless kill goes in favor of Cookies, actually, as he finishes off the creeps as well. In the meantime, at the top lane, Silhouette going to dodge away as Magnus and Torture initiate. But wow, that is not what you wanted if you're Q Squad.
Definitely not. That was just way too much overextension from Nova. I mean, attacked way too many times, took too much damage from the tower, and that's a level 1 Glacius against that extra tower damage, 110. I mean, yeah. Sometimes you feel like you're invincible when you have that haste rune, but you're clearly not. Yeah.
You're absolutely not. So, Nova, not one to make mistakes like that, definitely. So, very interesting start here. And again, in the sake of Q Squad, and hell, Cookies is like, all right. I mean, obviously, Keeper of the Force having a better time in the sense of creep farm, but with a bloodless kill, not too shabby. Style in the meantime again at the top lane, a lot of trouble right here. He shouldn't have. No, he's not going to end up. The final attack! Oh my God. That was the world's longest auto attack ever. I mean, that was like 2,000 range or something like that. That was ridiculous. But hey, they get the kill. Great job again. That's a dangerous lane, and it's causing issues for Style up there.
It is a very dangerous lane, and if you don't disjoin it at the exact right time, it will stay with you till the end.
Yeah.
So that was just an unfortunate event, but well played there by GG Slayer in the top lane with Meisty.
How about that, by the way? So Styles playing Silhouette, Nox is playing Meraxes.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
I don't think it's a really big deal. What I think is a big deal is the fact, here has some action in the mid lane. There's a stun combination. Magnus is getting caught by creeps. He wasn't even blocked. He was like blocking himself. No, it wasn't creep blocks. You were blocking yourself.
Oops.
So he was like juking himself. Like he wanted to run around the left side, and he wanted to run around the right side. He couldn't decide. Oh, that looked like a free kill to me, but that's unfortunate.
I don't know. I mean, it is only level 1 Magnus, and
He was juking himself, though. He couldn't decide which path he wanted to go.
Yeah.
And that was unfortunate.
Yeah, it would have definitely been very, very close to kill, if anything. Maybe even a kill, but yeah, that's didn't even get the chance, because for whatever reason, I guess the creeps just They were just too damn big, so wasn't able to get around them and eventually set that up, but kind of running a tri-lane here mid. Obviously, Aluna and Magnus is hanging around, but they've been roaming around a lot, so it just happens for now that they're hanging around. But in the meantime, at the bottom lane, Ophelia joining Keeper of the Forest. Talk about a lot of push potential. That's definitely there, but Ophelia, the Minotaur dies, actually. And the push potential definitely going away. In fact, you see, this is kind of a 2 versus 1 lane. I mean, Ophelia's kind of sitting in there, putting in some auto attacks into Flynn. Needs to be careful because Magnus and Aluz are roaming in, though. And if they catch this Ophelia, she is going to walk around the tower, however. She definitely knows something up. They did run past a warded site here at the bottom rune, so should be fine. But there is a warded site down here on Ophelia. Magnus thinking about diving, not going to get close enough, though. And Ophelia will be fine. You mentioned she did go boots first, and so she is very, very quick. In fact, Keeper of the Force is level 6. We could see a turnaround right here. Is it going to root? This is a big question. Jonas fan, the block going to try to come out, so no root going to be coming out. Magnus just stuns away, and it will be fine. I mean, it probably wouldn't have been a kill, so maybe good that he saved the root, but that was close right there.
Yeah, it was close. I feel like he maybe should have just done it anyway. I don't know, but probably the safer decision. Wants to keep that off cooldown and use it for a better time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting, though. We basically have a suicide Silhouette versus a suicide Flint. Very interesting setup we have. And
True.
I got to say, this is just goes to the fact that Keeper of the Force is a boss. I mean, he's just too hard to kill. Flint can't do really anything against him. He's got too much base damage, 80 base damage with that hatchet. Flint's base damage is very low until you get some more items. But, I mean, right now it's 54, but before that it was like 44. It's just too low. You can't get all the last hits you want against Keeper of the Force. You're just going to have a field day down here. And then with that armor on top of that regen, it's impossible to push him out of the lane.
Yeah, you're never going to kill him, and this has definitely worked out very well for QsQ. Definitely one of the things it has. Middle lane actually, and those are illusions charging in, so Morax is going to kind of get some vision with those. Back to the bottom lane, Keeper of the Force running in. The block's going to come out. Not gonna, he did use his root already, but for Flint Beast was able to fall back. Aluna taking some nuke damage, and Aluna will fall right there. But Ophelia now taking some damage. However, the creeps is a little bit too intimidating for Cookies right there, and he will fall back rather than going for the kill. So. Good initiation in the end. They keep the Force root, and eventually they get the kill. Ophelia now running into Magnus, though. Magnus, is he going to stun? No, he's not. He's only level 2, figuring it might not work, and probably was right. So he will fall back right there. So.
I feel like King Plato and Luna could have just... Oh, actually, top lane.
Wow.
Style gets a kill onto the Torture that had that amazing start. So I didn't see that, but that must have been a blunder. Like, there's no reason at all you should get killed like that.
He just simply went for the kill himself, and as you see, Silhouette very low in life, but didn't get it. I just caught the very tail end of that, so yeah, I'm not exactly sure how it played out, but you got to figure. He thought he was going to be confident, went balls to the wall, and eventually Silhouette turned it around, so that's huge for Style. His creep farm's been horrid this game. I mean, it's still not the greatest, but he's going to start recovering now, especially with that kill for him at the top lane.
And definitely, Fade does use that ultimate in mid, but he's just going to, attack and burst out of that ultimate onto Meraxis. Not really going to do that much, though. Just wants to use it for a little bit extra damage. But, yeah, Torture, that's unfortunate. He does have the Ghost Marchers now, too, and doing a lot of damage. But I was going to mention something, too. Oh, yeah, King Plato on Aluna down there in that engagement. I feel like he could have just ran away. He kept walking back and putting auto attacks into Ophelia, but for no reason. I mean, he was very low HP, and I think he kind of killed himself right there. So interesting plays right there.
Oh, Glacius freezing Aluna, then stealing the regen rune right in front of her. I mean, again, not the biggest deal in the world. Obviously, I don't know if it was a haste or something. A little bit different, but just being a regen rune in that situation, not the biggest deal. As awards, bitch ward support heroes run into one another. But, yeah, I mean, right now it's a 2-2 game. It's a very even game when you look at the overall stats in 8.5 minutes. And like I said, I mean, Silhouette Style here really has not been able to get anything going, but that kill actually giving a little bit of resurgence for him. In the meantime, though, GG Slayer is still, is goal permitted to drop, of course, but his creep farm is definitely still up there. 31 and 15, 32 and 15 now. Silhouette actually going to dive in right here. Does not connect with the tree grapple, though, and Torture will be fine. Obviously, Glacius also nearby, so maybe trying to set up a kill, but not connecting the tree grapple. Not going to be had. So Flint Beast in the meantime, though, 270 gold per minute. I mean, interesting game, especially when you look at the GPM. I'll hold that thought for a second. Middle lane, we might see some initiation. Moraxis activates the Matrix initially. Turns out he misses a stun, though, and Moraxis is still in a little bit of trouble. I mean, again, that Matrix so powerful, however, and he'll just easily take that damage. So he missed the Quake stun. But if anything, that just missed an opportunity to turn around on them, not even necessarily save himself. So,
yeah. I think that was fine for them, actually. They're actually winning heavily in experience right now, simply because they have a jungle and they're not able to roam on him effectively.
Yeah.
Mali, level 5, 1-0-0, has a decent farm, trying to do what he can to roam around since it has been a very hectic and swap-heavy game as far as lanes go. But Vote to Pause coming out from Legion. Check out some early CS coming out. Mali actually times out, speaking of him. But Flint Beastwood has actually recovered quite nicely down here in the bottom lane, considering his circumstances. I mean, Ophelia's been roaming a couple different times. He's up against a keeper who has now 86 base damage with that hatchet. So Cookie's making a little bit better plays in the bottom lane compared to Style. Style did a good job getting that kill. So big props to him. And he's actually bumped his farm up as well, 22-9.
Yeah, and obviously the creep lane has actually been constantly pushed up, it seems like, more so for his favor, too, as this game has progressed on here. So definitely taking advantage of that. But, I mean, still at the meantime, you know, not the greatest and sexiest of GPM. I'm sure we're only 9.5 minutes in, but definitely behind. And that's actually the point I was going to go to before that action took place in the middle lane. But the goal per minute chart, I mean, neither team really has a takeoff here. This is just a very, you know, not even that impressive a farm overall. I mean, neither team has a great hero in terms of farm. I mean, overall, the top farm in the game is Keeper of the Forest, so sitting at just around 279 gold per minute right now. But again, not the greatest. Well, we'll see. You know, who's gonna have the better game now as a result of what's going on here. Obviously, you know, that Flint and Fade especially. That's definitely a big key. I mean, the level 7 Fade being played by Mookie's here, on top of the farm that she has. So we'll see what kind of impact she's able to make as a result of that. But then on the other hand, for QsQ, I mean, you got an Ophelia and a Keeper of the Forest, and a Moraxis that's actually farming fairly decent as well. So, you know, maybe taking some team fights and even some grouping up and pushing could be fairly effective here for them. Granted, there is a good amount of creep clearing potential with that said here on the Hellborn side. So
yeah.
Not going to be the easiest thing to do here for QsQ.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing coming out for Fortune Bakery is honestly the fact that they have a Fade. Once this gets, if this keeps playing passive, it's going to play out somewhat evenly, probably in QsQ's favor, because they have a jungler and because they have a Keeper of the Forest who can farm freely and safely. And then Moraxis doesn't really need that much farm to be effective. But at the same time, if it plays out passively, you're going to have a little bit more farm and levels especially on Fade. And Fade is so strong. I mean, just the constant roam, being able to go through the trees. This is why this hero is, you know, picked and banned very, very frequently. So, yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more roam from Fade. He is 0-0-0, but it hasn't exactly found any opportunities to gank. It is difficult when you have a Keeper, when you have a Moraxis especially. It cuts down your targets considerably. But, you know, Glacius sitting at basically level 3, no boots or no nothing. Just one lonely ward on him. Yeah. Very, very easy target.
That's Nova for you. You know, he really focuses the resources that he gets just simply on the ward's first priority, which, you know, you could argue is the best decision, but especially in a game where you have that one death, obviously being that bloodlust death at the bottom lane, and just really hasn't been able to do much else. So sitting on the one ward side, which I'm actually think he might eventually, or he's on his way to even placing here soon. We'll see. But, yeah, so obviously still sitting in the pause, waiting for Mally to come back here. Hopefully nothing too serious. Of course, playing the Ophelia here for QsQ. But I noticed that you were actually taking a look at maybe some other matches, Ralph, if you had any updates. Maybe the Complexity one I saw you were looking at. I mean, I know Complexity, they're playing Pencils, I believe, in the first round.
P-N-I-S.
P-N-I-S.
Yeah, they're playing Pencils, and it looks a little bit even right now. It's about 25 minutes in. Not the most active game. It's 7-5 in favor of Complexity as far as hero kills go. But levels and assists and all that, it's still fairly even. Complexity does have a lead, with Beacon being 7-0 on Pebbles. Has every single kill for Complexity.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's doing good. And actually, that brings up a point that I wanted to bring up earlier. Just kind of forgot, kind of rushed into things. But so today, obviously things start today. There will be 2 matches today, just as there will be tomorrow. Of course, if you go to HoN.com, again, all this information is on there, so I keep stressing that because it's so easy to find there, really, if you just go to the site and look for it. But the full schedule there will help explain this. But after today, if you actually lose your first round and then lose in the losers bracket later on today, you're not only done with this tournament for the cycle, but that means you'll be moving down to gold because the bottom 4 teams, remember, from the cycle for the Diamond Division, they do move down. So 4 out of these 16 teams will be moving down as a result of that. So definitely something to keep in mind here for these first couple of rounds, of course. So, and also technically there was only 15 teams in their first Diamond Division. Fit, they did apparently disband going into this first cycle. So Trademark Esports actually had to buy their first round as a result of that. So
yeah, and if you guys are wondering about the schedule too, it also is posted on the bottom info section of our Twitch page. In addition to online at HoNtour.com and HoNcast.com. So make sure to check that out. But anyway, the game has resumed. Mala is back, and here we go.
There we go, indeed. That's good news to see. Of course, Cookies and Jonas Fan continuing to go at it down here. I mean, Jonas Fan level 8 now. He got that early Blood Chalice, actually, the life tube on top. Now, Morax is pointing to the bottom lane, and he currently has Nature's Veil activated on him. So he's going to try to be a little bit sneaky right here and set up a gank on a Flint Beast. And all Flint Beast are in a lot of trouble. Out comes our Root. Here comes Moraxis. That Quake's on top. There's the block from the trees. And Flint Beast would you'll be falling. Nox actually picking up the kill right there. You see Aluna coming in with a power throw, but that really does nothing. And great setup there. I mean, that's the power of Keeper the Force once again. The Nature's Veil for his teammates to set up ganks like that or help at least. And of course the root that came out. Now here we go with some mass push to the bottom lane.
Yeah, and I really feel like maybe they should just move this Flint, like move him top, and maybe they should have realized that right when they saw the Keeper the Force in the suicide lane. And you know, even if you had the response coming out from them as Silhouette to go, you know, bottom, and then they switched it up, and then Keeper the Force come top, that would be so much better for them. But they really needed to move him. One of the problems with Flint, why we don't see Flint that often, is because of that reason. Just he's so easy to gank, and you really have to baby him. He needs a lot of items to be effective. When he gets those items, he's very effective. But getting to that point when you're having a slow start, it can be grueling.
Are they going to deny this tower? It's dropping very quickly. Of course, it's now in deny range. Who's going to get that final auto attack? You see the Hellborn team scaring them off. Burning Shadows on Nox right there. He does have a Matrix. Can he activate it in time? No, it's not even necessary, actually. He just runs away. We'll be fine for now. Fade's thinking about chasing. She's not going to just yet. She still has a Reflection, actually, in her ultimate. So we'll see if she finds the opportunity to use that. Again, the tower is still in deny range, but they really want to push back this wave and not give any chance for a ninja kill here from the Legion team. So they're going to push back the wave, and we'll see if they even actually deny it. As they took out the Ballista right there, but are they going to deny it? Nope. Thinking about it. Fade's like, yeah, I think we should deny it. So probably the smart choice right there. I mean, you lose a tower, but you prevent them from actually getting the kill. In the meantime, in the middle lane, Magnus actually dropping fairly low, but he's able to survive as Silhouette joins the middle. And this is what you were talking about. Flint Beastwood has now actually transitioned to the top lane after that death. Yeah,
and what they should do, too, is stack and just use these pulls, utilize these pulls for lots of farm, lots of lane positioning. Because it's probably going to get a little bit more passive this time, but at the same time, you have a Fade. And if you get a ward up here for Flint Beastwood, he's just going to be able to farm all day, utilize those pulls, and at the same time put aggression onto supports like Glacius with Fade. So, and then also, you know, Torturer does have good farm, and it's actually tapered off a lot.
Yeah,
it's tapered off a lot. Having that early start him in the top lane with a kill, and then actually died solo to the Silhouette. He was at something like 330 gold per minute, but hasn't really been able to find an opening or an edge after that.
Yeah, I think you said it. I mean, I think that death just really got to him, in both the stats showing and maybe just even mentality. Actually, Silhouette in the meantime, though, great execution coming out right there. There's a turnaround chance for QsQ, but not going to be nearly enough. Excellent execution from Fortune Bakery. Magnus, Luna, and Fade all combo together to easily take out Style right there, playing a Silhouette. So Torturer does port in. Speaking of him, he's a little bit too late as far as assisting with anything else that's going to go on. Or is he actually? There's a chain reactions on a Keeper of the Forest. Not much follow-up, though, other than Burning Shadows. The Cole on top of that, but now Fade taking a freeze.
Oh, wow.
And have to run back. The Agonizing Boss wants to finish off Ophelia. The chain reactions, look at the kill. And also stuns Keeper of the Forest. Actually, he's going to be ported back by Ophelia, though, and will be fine. But Ophelia, speaking of her, will survive. In the meantime, at the top lane, Flint Beastwood goes down, actually, as I believe Nox sniped him out with the last axe right there as he was trying to run away. So well played by Nox. You see Magnus up here, but not able to save his teammate in time.
That's unfortunate. I mean, they had such a good thing going for them in mid, and then actually Nox is probably going to get another kill onto Magnus. Magnus, what are you doing? He's standing up here way too long. Absolutely no mana. Oh, man, Nox is just having a good game so far onto the Miraculous. You should not be able to get those kills, especially when you don't have a portal key like that. So, yeah, Fortune Bakery kind of falling apart a little bit here in the mid game, but they did have a very good exchange in the middle lane. But those top two kills solo from Miraculous, that's going to boost up his farm considerably. He's 3-0-0, over 300 gold per minute now, and on his way to a portal key.
Yeah. How about this Keeper, though? Jonas Fan going for definitely a different build than what we're used to seeing on Keeper.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that was the circumstance, but Ghost Marchers, Blood Chalice, I mean, what do you think of it?
I think Ghost Marchers is fine. I think Blood Chalice is fine. I don't understand this Life Tube.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is going to go towards. I mean, obviously you have the Refresher in the late game, but I just don't understand what the Life Tube is doing for you. I would love to see. I think Chalice is fine, and maybe perhaps a Bulwark after that, or even a Blink. But yeah, I don't know. It is a little bit interesting. They do get this ward counter in mid. That's good for them.
Hey, you see right there. But yeah, you said it though. Nox playing this more Axis. Again, it's a little bit different seeing Style playing the carry and Nox actually playing more Axis. But nonetheless, Nox doing a fantastic job on him. 303 gold per minute. How much gold does he have saved up? 1,100 right now. So on his way to that portal key, which of course, as always, will be very, very important here for the Legion's side. But yeah, I was very curious myself to see where Keeper of the Forest goes, especially with that life tube, to see if he goes for an early sustain here. Maybe eventually towards that Restoration Stone, but it does seem a little bit awkward with the choice to do that first. But anyways, this tower here in the middle lane, obviously QsQ, they want to try to get something out of this, but constantly being pounded back between Fade, Aluna, and Magmas. As I said earlier, I mean, this Hellboard team does have a lot of creep clearing potential. I mean, Aluna is definitely the obvious one, but hell, a Flint Beast would here we don't see too much, especially with that Q ability. The Explosive Flare can be very powerful for that. Then, of course, you have heroes like Torture, so yeah, very good in that sense, and it is making it difficult here for the Legion team to really commit to a push and actually get the tower killed here. Yeah,
they do have a ward out here placed by King Plato on the top lane, spotted out a potential gank. Trying to do some counter pushing as Flint, but he's getting Axe. He does sidestep one of them. He can't sidestep the last one. Actually, that next one might have been an indication for Nox to kind of make the move, but he sees the porting coming out from Magmas, so Flint will be fine for now.
Yeah, I was going to say, are they going to turn this around? But as you said, the signals were flowing up there from our action, so he runs away. In the meantime, Glacius in the middle lane, only level 4 still, and he just gets bursted down between Aluna and Fate. So yeah, Nova not having the greatest start. When you look at it that way, I mean, he's 0-3-0 already, and again, still level 4, double damage Fade. I mean, sure, that doesn't help, but he's food here. You mentioned that earlier. A very squishy target here for the Salmon team, especially that Fade, and shows off right there, as I believe, did Fade actually get that kill? King Plato, no, Luna got the kill, but obviously Fade there for the assistance.
Yeah, and I actually think that's better because Fade is actually farming pretty damn well, almost 300 gold per minute, but more importantly is getting those levels. And Fade with level 11, I constantly stress that, is just so effective.
Yeah.
And if you put a portal key, you slap a portal key on top of that, it's going to make it even better.
Oh, well, Ophelia diving in here with the minions, but they're going to be turned on, actually. You saw Moraxis trying to land an axe, but Cookies has done a great job of actually sidestepping those quite a bit, so got to give him credit there for taking it to Nox and avoiding a good amount of those axes, at least. Meanwhile, back to the middle lane, Cole going to come out and give it the force. He does not have enough mana for Root now as a result of that, but nothing further going to happen. And this has really been an interesting game to me. It's neither team, again, I don't think either team's playing like the most impressive, but you know, they're not playing poor either. Both teams are just playing solid right now, and I think that's kind of showing overall. We're 17 minutes in. The stats, you know, very, very even when you look at it. Again, both teams have their positives. In fact, look at that. Codex just purchased by Fate actually on top of Ghost Marchers. So usually you see that maybe even split up first, but no, just going the Codex, and he also has the Ghost Marchers on top of that.
I guess having that the Codex on top of Ghost Marchers is fine, but I just feel like PK would have been a little bit smarter. I feel like with all these stuns and all this aggression you have on your team, just setting up a stun or setting up a kill is all you need, and then you can follow with the rest of that. Look at all those axes pumping out so much slow and damage. And Mookie's, hey, speaking of Codex, gets, you know, gets it paid off right away.
Yeah.
Because you're going I mean, Codex is always fine, especially this early. And maybe he will get that portal key eventually, but for right now, if it's working, hey, go for it.
Well,
Keep getting solo kills on the silhouette.
Exactly. I mean, the fact that it paid off right away, as you put it, it's huge. I mean, and on style on top of that, I mean, he just killed their hard carry, slowing him down even more. Now, this middle tower is going to be taken out, but in the meantime, Cookies has been free farming this top lane, actually. He pushed the tower in with no resistance. He's pushing up even a little bit further. He is going to start falling back now, but he is now sitting on that 300 gold per minute mark himself. So, great news there for Fortune Bakery. And I don't know if he's purchased something else, but he has been sitting on that quick flip for a while. Okay, Firebrand is on the way, yeah. So, going to be Firebrand here. Are you thinking Frostburn? Are you thinking straight Geometer's Bane? What would you like to see?
Geometer's Bane and Shrunken Head would be fantastic, especially against Keeper of the Forest. Having multiple ways to get out of that ultimate. Keeper of the Forest is buying, had enough for his Blink, but bought another mana potion. So, yeah, I'm very curious as to what he's going to go. Like, this is kind of interesting to me, as I'm sure it is to you.
Yeah, you said, I mean, he bought a mana potion. He has, again, enough gold for his portal key, but at least for now, I mean, he's not going for that. He's saved up even more. So, saving up for something big. Are we going to see a Mocker Brilliance Keeper here, you know? Something new? Yeah, probably not. Yeah, Jonas a fan. We'll see what he goes this time around. Fade, though, level 11, using that reflection once again, and he's going to try to find somebody, and he very likely may have a Ward of Relations here. Needs to be careful. He's going to try to upstyle, but she saw that, of course, but now she realizes she has to play very defensively. But yeah, if you're if you're Mookie's here, you, of course, maybe figure something's up. There we go with a jump on it.
Oh!
Great power throw on top of that, and Silhouette will fall. The Burning Shadows hit both. Now Glacier's in trouble. There's the E coming out. Does he have enough damage? He still has his Codex. The auto attack now. Here's a Codex. Codex isn't even necessary. Now ring around the Rosie. It is going to happen. Mookie's picks up the double tap. Very, very good setup right there. In the meantime, at the top lane, Flint Beastwood gets supported for Torture the tablet. The chain reaction hitting. Here's the ultimate from Flint Beastwood. Not even necessary, actually. Just the auto attack's going to be enough. He didn't have enough mana for the ultimate, but they get the kill nonetheless. Fortune Bakery really looking good all of a sudden.
I just love this lineup, man. It's very aggressive, lots of stuns. You put Fade, even without Fade, but Fade's just like the key ingredient, it seems like, for their success in this game. And is doing a lot of damage. I'm kind of curious as to if he's going to level up the Codex or not.
Yeah.
But it's just so stun heavy. It's so aggressive, but at the same time, you have a very strong carry in Flint Beastwood who is now actually finding ways to farm. And it's going to sit it now at this bottom lane for quite some time. It does have his Firebrand and another, wow, just like that, another basically 2100 for the Blessed Orb. So they're playing this pretty well. I mean, they had a little bit of a shaky start in the beginning. They maybe just some jitters. They haven't played together as a team.
Yeah.
I was talking with Cookies. They said they haven't scrimmed at all, like at all.
Nothing
so,
like not preparing.
Yeah, the fact that you're able to jump in this game and play against QsQ, who is the ranked 3 team right now on HoN Tour, they're doing very well. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie. I mean, actually, Magnus is kind of interesting. He actually uses Eruption right there to get a couple of the Ancients killed, but not even able to finish them off. So I don't know how efficient that Eruption was, but hey, got them low. Maybe Flint will go over there and finish them or something. But again, QsQ, they haven't been playing the greatest, and
right.
it is honest. It makes you wonder a little bit, you know, if that really is getting to them. The fact that the poor performance at DreamHack, something's clearly up. That this isn't the same QsQ team that, you know, a couple of weeks ago, even just before the DreamHack event. Again, they finished 3rd in the HoN Tour qualifiers out of over 1,000 teams that initially signed up. So, but you know, obviously still plenty of game left, let alone more series left, and plenty more matches in the future. So I'm sure things may change around, but. Right now, QsQ isn't necessarily looking the greatest, but again, they push the top tower, so they kind of close the goal lead a little bit right there, and this is definitely a power move here by QsQ. I mean, they got the push potential. In fact, meanwhile, the bottom lane, great Porter Key on a Flip Beast, trying to catch him off guard. Silva pounding in the auto attacks, and I believe Cookies will fall. Yes, he will. That's a big downside of him. Meanwhile, the top lane, though, a great counter kill coming out of Nova. Fate is chasing. Chain reactions missing, though, and the Portal Key away from Keeper of the Forest, who will port out and be fine. But yeah, that's a downside of Flint Beast, but of course he has 0 escape mechanism, and definitely saw that right there. But great catch from QsQ, but they do lose Nova again at the top lane.
Yeah, they lost Nova. They actually were trying to pursue on Keeper as well, but he was just too tanky and had the blink to get away. They didn't have any anti-vision as well at the time. I feel like they could have actually anticipated that gank. Fade was up there. He saw him. I think Fade could have actually ulted a little bit earlier too, and then given the heads up to Flint that something was happening. But obviously, Fortune Bakery still in a great position. 5K experience lead, just about 2,100 gold lead, you know, give or take. But I was going to mention something about, oh yeah, Cube of the Forest. Okay, did end up going for the Portal Key. He's actually sniping out some Ancients right now in the Hellborn side. But what the Portal Key, I don't understand the Life Tube. Like, it doesn't make it. Maybe he wanted to go for Help with the Black Legion.
He had that right off the bat. I think he even had it before the Blood Chalice, if I'm not mistaken. So.
But you already have your natural, actually gets the blink away. Good job by him. You already have the natural regen from your QsQ.
Exactly, yeah.
And it wasn't like he was taking that much harass. I mean, he was free farming the bottom lane, so.
Oh, bottom lane, speaking of that, Marks is jumping in. He gets countered by Aluna with the quick stop. Fade going to use the ultimate to try to run away, and they're going to try to set up a turnaround, it looks like. Explosive Flare being used. More access that Matrix going to be wearing off soon. There's a Burning Shadow hitting a couple heroes, actually, but now Fade in a little bit of trouble, starting to fall back. She won't be fine for now. The Eruption Magma's going to jump in with the Portal Key on top of the roof and Keeper the Force, but that seemed to work out a little bit better for Fortune Bakery right there. In the meantime, Torture ultimate activated, takes out Ophelia. Silhouette will melt away. Torture does go down, but a genocide coming out for Fortune Bakery. A 1-for-5 exchange. They will easily take that every day of the week. And look at the golden experience lead now in favor of Fortune Bakery. 24 minutes in just about. Things are looking really good for them here.
Yeah, it's a surprise factor for Magnus having that Portal Key. It is only level 1. It didn't really do it didn't do massive damage, but it did enough to really take them down. And then also, Mookie's making some big plays with the Fade.
Yeah.
He had some kind of awkward initiation, but is still managing to get some really crazy double stuns. Like, I'm not quite sure how he did that. That was pretty crazy double stun on the Keeper and the Glacier.
Yeah, it seemed like it wasn't a straight line.
Yeah,
he
it was
somehow
really
managed
weird.
to angle it, man.
He got it, though, and it was pretty amazing.
It was very well played. You said it, though, the surprise Portal Key. I mean,
yeah.
I noticed it, but obviously didn't have enough time to even mention it. But there you go, the gotcha potential coming out here from the Hellborn team. The Portal Key and Magnus, and Portal Key and Fade, obviously. And there's a Geometer's Bane finished on Flint Beastwood, and he has another 1,200 gold saved up already. So, again, Fortune Bakery. This is an upset, you can safely say. I mean, in the makings here for game number 1 at least. Again, Q Squad, the number 3 seed here going into the first cycle of the Diamond Tournament, but they clearly just have been not playing the greatest lately. But again, that isn't to take anything away from Fortune Bakery, because they are playing very well this game and definitely deserving to be in the lead right now. So obviously I still think it's safe to say plenty of game to play, I'm sure, but in a comfortable spot. Silhouette does have 1,700 more gold saved up. We really haven't been talking about Style too much, but again, his performance hasn't been the most superb. He's 2-5-1 overall, only farming 260 gold per minute right now. He did go the Whispering Helm first. Do you think that made sense?
In this game, I think it's fine. I don't think Nullstone's really going to help you. It's going to maybe stop the snipe from Flint and the stun from Aluna, but yeah, you don't really need a Nullstone in this game. You're going to need Whispering Helm and then Shrunken Head. Like, no question. You might even get a blink because you are this far behind. Mookies gets a solo kill onto Nova as he's pretty much, I can say it, he's not going to get boots this game. Like,
yeah.
it won't happen.
He's sitting on 1 Ward Revelation in his...
and his ward that he just placed got countered immediately.
Oh,
that's got to be the worst feeling in the world.
It does. I mean, Nova's played a lot of games, especially at the higher end, of course, and he's always been that support player, but... This is even still. I mean, I'm sure this still stings when this happens because that's he's 0-7-1. He's not getting anything. As he said, he very likely won't get boots. I mean, he resurrects and obviously quickly, only being level 6. And right away, he buys a couple more reps. He buys a couple of Ward of Sight. Actually, no, those were given to him. Even those weren't even purchased by him, so never mind.
I like what Mookies did here. He actually bought the portal key before leveling up his codex. And I think that's a really smart move.
Yeah.
Especially against the Glacius, who, by the way, just bought a couple more wards. He's just going to be complete ward bitch. Like, no items, absolutely nothing, just a bunch of wards. But you can basically get a free pickoff onto Style or onto Glacius anytime you want with that portal key Codex 1.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you see right here at the bottom, he's a illusion room bottled up. He's going to roam around. He uses a reflection right there. He's going to find Ophelia, actually. And this is a Dead Ophelia. This is Dead Ophelia. There we go. Burning Shadows. There's the Aluna power throw. And actually, King Plato did get credit for the kill. So, yeah, they've been coordinating that very well, too. I mean, that isn't the easiest thing to do. So, you got to give credit to especially King Plato in that case and just communication in general. So,
yeah,
Fade's having a huge impact.
Yeah, King Plato, I mean, he had one little bumpy start at the beginning with a gank onto him. But after that, I mean, he's 4-1-4. Actually, the top lane, GG Slayer gets taken out on Torture. So, I mean, if there's anyone that can really kind of come back in this game for them, actually bottom lane, Mookie's still doing a ton of damage as he runs away with that extra bonus movement speed from Deep Shadows. Silhouette wants to pursue, but just too fast as Mookie's, and actually goes back in.
Not worth it. Magnus stuns him with the portal key. Fate trying to run back with the illusion may actually kill, but he's not careful. The Astral APO coming in, though, from Aluna, speaking of her, and Silhouette will also get away. So, yeah, that was actually really scary for it because I saw Magnus coming in, I mean, with that portal key, but eventually survived himself. So, but, man, again, Fate is just doing work. It's just one of those heroes you just almost expect to be banned, but all of a sudden he was left open, and then we're like, oh, wait, yeah, Fate's left open. Sure enough. Fortune Bakery picks her up, and no doubt having the absolute biggest impact that you could ask for here. But that's the hero for you. And again, Cookies, it's bot time, if anything, for Cookies to just constantly go up and up now. And again, it's still not skyrocketing by any means, but he's now at 390 gold per minute. And he is going to be going now well, as you said, Geometer's Bane into what looks like to be a Shrunken Head here.
Yeah, he's listening to me. I'm happy. I'm happy. He's got my seal of approval. It's just a fantastic pickups against this team. Having the yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Cookies. It's all on you, baby.
That.
It's all on you. Now Silhouette does look like she's actually going to go for that Nullstone, which I don't really think that's going to be that effective. It could be a Geometer's Bane. Geometer's Bane might be okay, but against this mass AoE, illusions are just going to melt, so that wouldn't be the optimal decision anyway. But I mean, they're at a pretty huge deficit. But that's not to say they can't win this game. I mean, games are pretty much decided when you're pushing into the base. I've seen more games thrown than not when it's uphill, up into the high ground. And so playing passive can also make the other team kind of tilt. What are we doing? We're having the lead. Why don't we just push? And then you make some important decisions. But yeah, so that thinking about that, item pickups for Silhouette is Shrunken Head. I mean, look at all that magic damage coming out. A Shrunken Head would just seem very, very obvious to me. But Hellflower's in the works for Miraculous. That's going to be good for him.
Well, there's, Keeper the Force. He did eventually go the Portal Key, of course, but he has finished his Sustainer. He has an Arcana picked up, so it looks like in the end it was simply just for the eventual Restoration Stone here for him. In the meantime, Mookie's at the bottom lane. Reflection again is activated. That's about 19 seconds. If Ophelia's caught behind, and again, she can burst down very quickly, especially with the Power Throw synced up. She has a level 2 Codex now. Ophelia's going on her own, and Melee, you are in some trouble. There's the auto attack. There's the Burning Shadows. Are we going to see a Power Throw? No, we're not. Not even necessarily. Oh, he Portal Keys out, but he forgets the Codex! And actually gets the kill, but at what cost? Right here is a turnaround, and Fade will fall. So, big misplay from Mookie's. I mean, the Codex came out very late right there. Eventually got the kill, but he got turned around on as a result.
I think he just misclicked. Like, he meant to click on his Codex, and then he blinked to 200 range. That was just a big misplay by Mookie's. So that's really unfortunate. You can't have those little slip-ups, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. They still got a kill on top. In the meantime, though, actually, Luna does get taken out, and some double stuns happening from Magnus just to kind of, like, keep them at bay. But not the biggest deal in the world. They're still in a fantastic lead.
Wait, did Glacius get boots? He did! He got boots.
Well, he got a Savage 6.
I was going to say, yeah, he got a 530 gold bonus streak. So it basically said Glacius now has boots as a result of that kill. So, yeah, it turns out Nova does get the boots. 30-minute boots, not bad. Yeah, that you said it, though. It seemed like clearly just a misplay from Mookie's. Unfortunate, but still no doubt having a huge impact and will continue to despite that death. As you mentioned at the top lane, there was also a kill that happened, I believe. Yeah, King Plato did get picked up there playing a Luna. So QsQ, a couple of big kills for them coming out. And as you safely said, I mean, QsQ no doubt still in this game. By no means is this over just yet. But Fortune Bakery is in the advantage. And I actually want to go back to Mookie's real quickly, get your thought on this. I mean, you said earlier, so he went the Portal Key, and you complimented that, how got the Portal Key before leveling up the Codex. Now, he is leveling up the Codex, which is level 2 right now. Do you like that? I mean, do you think that is the best choice?
I think it's actually not that bad. It might get frowned upon by some people, but I think if you have the potential and the ability to take out a silhouette anytime you want by leveling up that Codex, then I say why not?
Yeah.
And setting up the kill, you can actually set up the kills more often than not than you think you could, because you also have the, as we saw before, the coordination between the Luna Snipe. And so it helps you do even more damage on top of that. So I think it's a fine thing to do. I think most players at this level would probably go Hellflower and just not even get Codex at all. But it's obviously done work here. So.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of work. Bottom tower going down in favor of the middle tower, however. So either team losing a secondary tower right there. But it seems like Fortune Bakery, they're going to be the ones to keep pushing. But look at that. Restoration Stone just finished on Jonas Fan. So,
yeah,
hey, that's fairly early. I mean, Ghost Marches, Portal Key, Restoration Stone. Does he have enough mana? 175, the 300. It's going to be very. It's just. I believe he just barely has enough. Yeah.
Well,
with that, but
if he blinks in, he's not going to have enough.
That's true. Yeah.
And the thing is he's not only is he not going to have enough if he blinks in, he's trying to cast armor and stuff. He's going to have to armor people, then walk back to base, as you see right here. So yeah,
he needs 650 mana, which is exactly how much he has.
With the blink.
No, 650 mana for his double ulti and the restoration stuff, but the blink on top of that, you add another 75 mana, so he obviously that's like, 725, so yeah.
But then he just can't cast anything.
Yeah.
He can't cast trees, he can't cast his Nature's Veil.
So a little early Restoration Stone, you could even say, picked up, but that's where if we went more the normal building, having that Ring of Sorcery would make up for that. But
I guess what he could do is blink in ulti, then run back to base. And I'm serious, that's probably what he's going to have to do if Fortune Baker keeps pushing like this.
Yeah. Well, there we go. The jump on a flip base. So can he get off the Shark Head? No, he cannot. Flip base over. He bursts it down. Fade opens, but Fade's going to fall as well. And that was not a fight. Fortune Bakery really should have been taken in the first place. Great initiation at the same time coming up from QsQ. And now Fortune Bakery completely on the run. Luna's going to deja vu right there. I don't know if it's going to matter, though. Magma's Portal Key's back in. Actually stuns them, trying to help save Luna here. But now they're both might be still in a little bit of trouble. Torture also sticking behind. They really want to save this Luna. I don't know if it's going to happen, though, but a nice Talbot. That's a chain of reactions, and maybe all this effort might pay off. Going to dodge an axe right there. Still has a couple more seconds on the deja vu. Going to try to port out. In the end, though, it's not going to happen. She will be bursted down. Great chance right there by Magnus and Torture to save her. But she dies in a hell of a fight coming out for QsQ. Now they're going to counter push out of this.
Well, what did I say? I've seen so many games just thrown or changed right when they push on the high ground. And you really said it. You like nailed it there. There really wasn't a reason for them to be pushing. Their top lane was being pushed. They already. The thing is, I say this all the time, but if you're pushing bottom, you're getting this tier 2 tower. At the same time, Jonas and Fan pushing the mid and trading. You should never be trading when you're up. You should always be defending your towers if you're up. There's no reason to not defend them if you totally have all the means to do so.
Yeah.
So already that was a mistake by trading when you didn't need to, and then pushing into the high ground. You just simply didn't have that much of lead, and your other lanes were getting pushed. So it would have been better to just, maximize, like take all their creep farm in the jungle. They already had the tower down in mid. There was nothing else happening from QsQ. They weren't going to be pushing anymore. Just take out the jungle and farm out all the resources there. Together, maybe walk together into their ancients, take their farm there. There's nowhere else they could farm if you did that.
Yeah.
You would basically just be expanding your lead. Then you could maybe take Kongor, but like you said it, they just pushed way too early.
Oh, the Burning Shadow's completely whiffing right there from Mookie's, and he's actually going to portal key away. But now the Legion team, nope, that's just the Illusions running in actually, so not going to turn this around. But we did see in the last fight, though, you could question the decision to even go in the first place, but the jump potential from QsQ, I mean, especially with the Hellflower on Meraxes, he's had a huge impact, that being Nox, of course, and the biggest impact there, no doubt. I mean, the fact that he was able to jump in and lock down Flint Beastman initially, if you're Fortune Baker, you need to realize, well, there's one option. Of course, you can go the Storm Spirit route, and maybe that would be very, very likely here on either Torture or Magnus or even a Luna. But also on top of that, even you need to be ready to just counter-react right away. You can't let them get that couple of seconds in, or else he will die, as we saw right there. So you have to be very, very quick in terms of reaction here for Fortune Bakery, especially if Flint Beastman is going to be in those front lines, doing the damage that he can do. But speaking of that, he does have a Slayer now picked up, so on his way to a Savage Mace here. I mean, it's no doubt that Flint Beastwood is going to be putting out a lot of damage here.
Yeah, they're going to need the Storm Spirit, though, like, badly. They do have a push book on Torture, that's good, but Storm Spirit, if you get jumped by Meraxes, especially with him having that Hellflower, it's just so much damage. So the thing with Flint is you do have that range, but who else can really sit in the front lines and attack the tower? I mean, you really want to play far back on Flint so you don't get initiated on. Until you get a Storm Spirit, you got to play really, really careful, because like you saw right there, that initiation all out on Flint just pretty much wins them the team fight. So unless they get the jump, they're going to be losing team fights until they A, get a Storm Spirit on somebody on their team, or B, just have way more farm in general than the other team. But, QsQ closed the gap nicely. Only 2,000 gold, 1,200 experience.
Yeah. Damn, I mean, now that you point that out, holy crap. I mean, they were up by, what, nearly 12,000 experience earlier in Fortune Bakery, of course, about 8,000 gold lead or something like that. And, yeah, only 2,000 and 1,700 now as far as the leads go for Fortune Bakery. So still sure in the lead, but that is really, really close quickly, it seems like. But that's all the credit to QsQ. They've been making a great comeback play here. They took the fight at the bottom lane, and as we say all the time, especially at this top level play, hey, you got to capitalize off of those mistakes, and that QsQ definitely did at that bottom side. So Silhouette in the meantime, I mean, she is starting to get bigger herself. She has that Warhammer, so yeah, very likely going to be a Shrunken Head pickup for her, you would think. But there's one Warhammer for Flint Beastwood, who, I thought he had a double damage rune right there. But actually, they're going to jump right here. In the meantime, Fate jumps into chain reactions on top, trying to pick up Glacius, but at what cost right here? Glacius going to survive that double Minotaur stun, and Fade will fall. Torture is also going to fall. Again, not a fight that the Hellborn team should have maybe taken. Magnus stuns in with the Eruption, but is there going to be follow-up? No, there's not. Root coming out for Keeper the Force. It traps Flint Beastwood in the background. Now Magnus being locked down. There's the second Root coming out from Keeper, and Flint Beastwood in some trouble. He's actually running away. The Illusion's just being locked down. Aluna's getting caught out now. There's the chase from Meraxes. Axe coming out right there. The Aluna stun. Flint Beastwood in the background, still petting in a lot of damage actually. And Jonas the Fan may be in trouble. The ultimate, it goes through, baby. Down goes Keeper of the Forest. So at least they get one turnaround kills. Flint Beastwood still doing a lot of damage, actually. Ophelia now needs to be careful. But in jumps Silhouette. Meraxes as well. Silhouette wants to go Luna first. She's not going to get it, but Flint Beastwood will fall when it's all said and done right there. He didn't even use the Shrunken Head during that whole fight, and he eventually falls. So QsQ big time comes in on top again.
Yeah, QsQ coming on top. They're just using their spells, using all their abilities, and I just think that Fortune Bakery is kind of falling apart here. I mean, they had fantastically, they played so well, as their heroes should. I mean, they're very aggressive heroes. As we get to the late game, though, this is getting pretty scary. I mean, QsQ's just kind of rolling over them. You're going to have a Shrunken Head up on Meraxes here pretty soon. Very interesting pickup, by the way. I've never really seen that. And Silhouette, she's not getting the portal key, but doing lots and lots of damage. And then the CC abilities from, the supporting cast of QsQ being Glacius, Ophelia, and Keeper of the Forest with that double root especially. I don't see, at the rate that Fortune Bakery is playing, I don't see them coming back, as sadly as it seems out, and having the lead that they had earlier. But they're just playing sloppy. They need to change this up.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. If they keep, making some poor decisions like that, then they're definitely not going to win this game. So, it's just about calming things down if you're Fortune Bakery. Realize, though, right, maybe the last couple of fights haven't been the most appropriate times to jump in. Let's calm it down. I mean, we still have a Flint Beast to it, who is the top arm of the game still by quite a bit, actually. He's still sitting up to that 407 go per minute, and no doubt can he hit hard, as he has been. I mean, as we even saw a little bit in that last fight. But it's really just about coming together and fighting as a team. These last couple of fights, that's been the biggest deal. I mean, obviously at the bottom lane, Flint just got jumped right off the bat. He got bursted down, and he just died. And that last fight, they jumped in first, but the whole team wasn't even there to really follow up on. The meantime, QsQ was, and they just countered appropriately, like Fortune Bakery can do themselves. So, yeah, it's again, just about calming things down, taking advantage of your strengths, and, keeping Flint Beastwood alive is very important. He's had the Shrunken Head now in the last couple of fights, and he's still yet even able to use one charge on it. So, yeah, that's also a huge, huge deal, at least in my mind. So, but maybe in the future, maybe in the future fight, we will see that coming out from Fortune Bakery, and a little bit different result. But for now, I definitely agree with you. I think QsQ, this is almost, you can even say, their game to lose at this rate.
Well, yeah, it's kind of crazy, and I say it's very even as far as the numbers goes, but the rate that Fortune Bakery is playing, it just seems kind of like their heads aren't in the game right now. And I think, I mentioned too, I alluded to before, the fact that they just haven't scrimmed at all, and they haven't been playing competitively at all. So maybe they're just not in that groove yet. It's probably the biggest thing, I think.
Yeah, of course, again, this is just the first cycle here of HoN Tour, and they themselves, as actually Fade is going to jump right here on a Glacius, but quickly runs away. How about that? I mean, Glacius has Steam Boots now, has a Bound Eye on top of that, and Mystic Vestment.
Yeah.
So Nova went from having just a god-awful, horrid start here in this game to just being able to buy wards to now having all that, and he gets jumped by Fade, and it's like, yeah, no big deal. Keeper the Force in the meantime at the top, and they're going to chase him down. They do have a Bound Eye on a Fade, so Keeper the Force in a lot of trouble here, and I believe they will be getting the kill. Tried to root right there, it even looked like, but he got stunned in the meantime and falls. Of course, the Savage Mace doing work there for Flint Beastwood. Speaking of Savage Mace, though, Silhouette actually chooses to go the Savage Mace as well. I thought maybe we're going to see that Shrunken Head with the Warhammer, but no. She goes the Savage Mace route herself, so
yeah,
hitting hard herself.
She's hitting hard, but it is a little bit of a risky pickup. Simply because, I mean, we just saw right there, Fade has the potential to always get ganks.
Oh, there we go. Silhouette now is going to be getting picked off right there. Goes that kill. King Plato actually gets credit with that power throw, so as soon as you talk about it, sure enough, it happens in favor of Fortune.
And if they noticed right now, yep, there you go. There's really smart play by them. Jonas fans down. Silhouette, they obviously know that she cannot buy back at just spotting that Savage Mace, so that's going to be a Conqueror.
Yeah.
So, I haven't officially read Game of Thrones, but I'm watching it right now.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, I had to do that.
That is a great show, though, by the way. Season 3 coming out in April. Cannot wait. So far away. Yeah, though, on that note, though, it really is a case of, I keep going back to, again, maybe it's just jitters. Obviously, this is the first game here, the cycle for even both these teams. QsQ coming out the fairly poor performance at DreamHack, but neither team has really been overall too impressive. I mean, we have had great plays on both sides for sure, but there has been some sloppy plays at the same time. This being the Diamond Division, the top 16 teams here in HoN Tour, you maybe expect a little bit tighter of play, but again, it is early on. This is the first cycle. I mean, things are just getting kicked off in that sense. So I'm sure it'll pick up as time goes on, definitely. And this becomes more routine every single weekend here for these Diamond teams. Which, by the way, I mean, that was actually just changed very recently, if you weren't aware. The Diamond matches, originally there was at least one, if not two matches to take place during the week. But the schedule was actually changed around to where it's now only weekend matches here for the Diamond Division.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah, that's really cool for the teams in that sense. I did hear a couple of complaints actually from a couple of players. Well, they're like, "Oh, we don't get to play as much now." But
yeah, I mean that is the drawback if you want to have a little bit more experience. But honestly, in the last couple months, there's been a lot of opportunity to play together in HoN Tour qualifiers, in HoN Tour right now, and the DreamHack qualifiers as well. So there's been a lot of experience to be had.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it really is a case. If anything, weekend for the matches during the week, you prepare. That's
Scrim, yeah.
get some NFL style schedule in that sense. Getting ready for the weekend. So yeah, we see the Hellborn team right now. So Fortune Bakery. This game though has been very interesting. I mean, we were just sitting here talking 5 minutes ago that Q Squad they have all the momentum right now, and they may be on their way to coming back in this game in victory. But all of a sudden, Fortune Bakery halts that, and they got a couple pickoffs. They got the Conger kill. Who got the token of life, by the way? It is Flint, of course. He eventually picked it up, and he actually pushed to the top lane. It looked like they may have been grim enough to make another push, but obviously they know what happened earlier. They're still very fresh in their minds, I'm sure, that no reason to really push it. I mean, again, Flint beast with, man, 440 GPM. He's about 90 gold per minute now higher than that Silhouette, so he's fairly comfortable in that sense, too.
Yeah, and this and the bound is the bound die up on Fate. Yeah, fantastic. That's such a strong combination. I'm actually surprised they didn't have it earlier. Bound die on Fade right when you hit level 11 is usually the timing I like to see. A weird pickup. I mentioned this before, but Moraxis having the shrunken head, it just seems weird to me.
Yeah, it is.
It's a hero that's already so damn tanky with that ultimate, and once you jump in, you stun, you Hellflower, you get a couple axes, and it's not like you really need to do much more. I mean, you can kind of run away, blink back in after that. And I'm not saying Shrunken Head's a bad pickup because, hey, let's face it, I'm always a fan of Shrunken Head. It just seems kind of awkward here. I don't know.
Yeah, I think maybe something like a Soul's Bulwark is maybe in the more norm, and it could definitely be used here on the Legion team. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, something like that maybe the better investment, but he does go the Shrunken Head, so at least has that to work with, and he has another 2,500 gold saved up. Again, Nox is just, if any player on this Legion team has just been very consistent, it's definitely been him here. Playing the Moraxis, I mean, hell, he's 8-1-5 overall, so very good in that sense too. But yeah, we'll see where he follows up his item. Now, obviously, especially as the game starts to get more and more like this, hell, we're now 46 minutes in. It seems like it's even been a little bit less than that, but 46 minutes in, both teams still have full buybacks. And none of the 10 heroes in this game have used a single buyback yet, so something else to really start keeping in mind now. As look at the stats, man. I mean, golden experience. It's under 1,000 for both. Not often you see that at this time in the game here. But that's where we stand. Flint Beastwood, he does actually pick up an Ice Brand, so he's going to be going Frostful Skull here as his next luxury item, you can safely say. Fade is charging in the meantime. We could have a fight of Bruin. Will he jump? There's a Burning Shadows hitting on Keeper of the Forest. The Codex coming out. Is it going to be enough burst damage? There's a follow from Moraxis. The jump in from Magma still coming in with the eruption, and down goes Keeper of the Forest before a single root comes out. Moraxis also going to fall despite that Shrunken Head being up. In the meantime, Silhouette is on the run. Great chain reaction stun right there, and Style will fall. Too much damage coming out from Flint Beast, but Ophelia is going to pour it out, but the damage already done. They only lose Fade. Everyone else is still up, and the Legion team now definitely on their heels.
I mean, they fought hard. They were all in, too. That was fantastic ulti coming out from Meisty on Magmus. Great red stun from Aluna. I think it got a 3-second stun on Keeper, so Keeper was not able to do anything, and that was really the deciding factor, and this kind of snowballed from there. On top of that, he did actually use his Shrunken Head on Moraxis, but it didn't really do anything. I mean, when against a Savage Mace on Flint, it just doesn't really matter. So good initiation, but even better follow-up from Meisty and Aluna.
Yep, that was definitely a well-played and well-deserved one fight there from Fortune Bakery. And look at this. I mean, they already pushed the base tower as well as the tower before it. They're going to get a melee rack. Silhouette is still down for 30 seconds. He doesn't have the buyback money. He just simply does not. He obviously was trying to farm it up. Now Moraxis will counter jump in the Hellfire, but a great counter stuff from Magmus. Torture still staying alive. In comes the Ice Imprisonment. Now Moraxis was ported back by Ophelia, so that's why he jumped right there. But Torture will survive. And look at off to the side. The ultimate from Flint Beast with the money shot coming out and snipes down Glacius. So they got the melee racks, and they're going to fall back now. Very, very happy with what just happened right there. So again, a case of Fortune Bakery, a lot of momentum working themselves, but this game, man, it's been a lot of momentum shifts.
I mean, they have almost a Frostful Skull on to Flint. He still has the Token of Life. Storm Spirit now on Aluna. You have a Blessed Orb, so probably a Sheep Stick in the works for Torturer. Just everything.
Hellflower and Magmus.
What? Oh, Hellflower and Magmus, okay.
Yeah.
So they got a ton of items in that exchange. And how much life is on that token? A minute and a half. They might not be able to use it here.
Yeah.
So should probably play the safe route. Maybe wait for the next Kong and then push into the base after that. But yeah, Fortune Bakery really, really well played there in that bottom river.
Yeah, I mean, Flint Beastwood doing work. Again, this is a carry hero we never really see on the competitive scene, but there's been talks of maybe him appearing, and now he is going to get caught right here, but he still has a token of life for a minute, and they're going to use a couple of big cooldowns here. Now here comes a reaction. He's going to be coming right back up. Torches here, and so is Bay. Look at Keeper of the Forest going to fall. Magnus joins our party. Keeper of the Forest going to fall. Cookies resurrects back up. He says, gotcha, bitch. Mookies picks up the double tap, though, and you got to wonder what the hell Q Squad was thinking right there.
Yeah.
And that just made absolutely no sense. I mean, they knew he had the token of life, of course. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Especially at this level, you should also know the timings of the token of life and all that jazz. So that was just silly. I mean, he had it for only another minute or so, and that's the exact time you want to use it. Like, you want to use it as it comes to an end. And Keeper is down. He actually used his refresher as well, which is really bad because he's dead this whole time and it was completely unnecessary. And this is going to be another set of wrecks. Neither of them can buy out.
You got
probably the game.
Ophelia just pushing the bottom lane, but yeah, this I agree. I mean, I don't see Q Squad. I mean, they've come back a couple times in this game, but this is getting a little bit too overwhelming. Moraxis is not up for another 25 seconds. Give it the Force, as you said, even when he's up. Sure, he has the one root, but the Restoration Stone is well on cooldown. Not going to be up for a long time. The defensive tower at the bottom lane going down. The melee rack's starting to fall. So yeah, Q Squad, you need to jump now. You really have no choice. I mean, you cannot lose another melee rack. So second right there. Nova just drops to the ground. Now Silhouette has a counter on the Magnus in the mid, and there comes the root coming up for Keeper. Will it matter? The great burning shadows on a Silhouette. Here comes Flint Beastwood, and he is just pounding out so much right-click damage. Silhouette trying to live. Not going to happen, though. Keeper of the Forest will fall. Actually, Ophelia's in the background trying to run away. There goes the pick on the Silhouette. Moraxis jumping back in himself, but Flint Beastwood is just pounding in those snowballs right here with that Frost of Skull, and we are going to see some GGs coming out here soon. There we go. A double tap to finish it off.
I bet he can kill him. I bet he can kill him too.
Yeah, they're going to try to concede first. No, I think he might have got the concede out first, but GG, well played, and Fortune Bakery takes game number 1 here against Q Squad here in the Diamond Division, round of 16. How about that?
Yeah, it was very fun to watch. I'm always a fan of Flint Beastwood. I'm always a fan of that hero. I think he's very fun to watch. He does struggle in the early to mid game. I mean, we saw that. He was very susceptible to ganks. He doesn't have an escape mechanism, and we saw some, back and forth throws, so to speak, between both teams. I mean, actually, I had another game open almost at TTE Sports, but Fortune Bakery had the early lead, kind of lost it when pushing early, and Flint getting caught right away in that engagement. But at the same time, Q Squad fighting in some places where they shouldn't have.
Yeah, it's like I said throughout that game. I mean, yes, Fortune Bakery, by all means, deserving. They had a lot of great plays, and in the end, I mean, they finished off very strong right there.
Yeah.
Neither team really impressed me too much overall. I mean, it wasn't the most amazing game ever by any means, but hey, you do what it takes to win. And in this case, Fortune Bakery, they did enough to win. And coming in as a 13 seed, like I said, against the number 3 seed Q Squad, they take them out in game number 1. Sure, it's a best out of 3, so obviously you expect a strong response here from Q Squad, definitely. And I'm sure Nova, they're going to lead his troops and everything. But Fortune Bakery looking good, and maybe even catching Q Squad off guard with that Flint Beastwood. I mean, what about Flint Beastwood, man? I mean, does he have potential to be even played more? I mean, do you think?
Well, you have to be careful about it. You have to really have a favorable lane, I feel like. I mean, I honestly feel like he got a little bit lucky in getting getting back into that game. He had a very horrendous start to begin with against that Keeper. Like I said, it was just so hard to get that CS, and he is very susceptible. But with Magma Luna specifically, able to roam around and open up the map there for Cookies, it's very easy. So you have to have the right heroes. But as far as talking late game, yeah, obviously Flint has the potential, as we saw right there. So yeah, why not? Pick more Flint, guys.
There you go.
He's good.
Worked out for Fortune Bakery here. With that said, of course, we are going to take a quick break here, but game number 2 going to be around the corner. Q Squad taking on Fortune Bakery. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned, guys.